and all them went back in that Quran and did what they did.
Oh yeah,
we'll make all that make sense. The first, not the beginning.
We'll make all that make sense.
Yeah.
But to open the divine meeting, as our Moorish ancestors creed, As-salam, 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 Al-Sufyan, Al-Sufyan, Al-Sufyan. Now that we have opened our divine meeting on this illustrious Sunday, we're going to talk about the sun.
Oh, yeah.
And the history that has been left out, called Moorish history. The story of Jesus belongs to your Moorish history. And in your Moorish history, this was in the land of Uburu. So the story that the Holy Prophet of America brought to the Moors was of an ancient history that has been looked over, that has always been since it was recorded. So we get a glimpse of something of the other half that has not been told. So now the world can know at large. So let's give praises to the Creator. So we're going to start off with 15 out of our Sufa. So we understand the message today, and all messages from KOS is delivered in the number 15. All wise knowledge is honored in As-salam, except that which is make-believe. So no more make-believe.
Right on.
Where there is truth, there's no need for make-believe.
Right on.
There's enough understanding that the Creator created for us to have, as we'll read. Keep your heart true. Where was the closest place you was taught to meet your divine Creator? In the heart. So we have this clean and pure message. Keep your heart true to Allah. This is where we have to understand where the communication is from the communicator. This special reserved sacred space called your heart. We know we're not talking about the organ. We're talking what created the organ. This heart is where our Creator speaks from within. So to have and to hear, we're going to have to listen. So you have to be a great listener when it comes to your culture, because you listen from hearing within. And this is called keep your heart true to Allah and your head clear of all that make-believe. And you shall have no need of omens. And you shall have no need of omens if you keep your heart true. So this is the testify of the truth of Allah. Our message today, Jesus, the Son of Allah, God. This is what has been left behind and excluded from your Moorish history and what you have been given as Jesus is a makeover, is a make-believe. So we need the way, the truth, and the law in order to succeed correctly. So in order for us to understand the Son of God, we must understand the truth of what was written about the Son of God. So we are finna earn our ale and understand what the true ale is. So we're going to take an instruction out of our Moorish Holy Quran. In your Moorish Holy Quran is the ancient history that is older than the Bible. This story is ancient, more ancient than the story in your Bible. The story in your Bible, this is where they got the story from. Out of the land of Ubaru, where we call it the law of Torah. And this is where you get a European American connection. This is one and the same in ancient history of Moorish times. But this history, and we can learn more, but we're going to learn the positive of the truth. If you want to learn the negative, we can have private classes about that. But we need the truth public. So the truth that needs to be public is, who is Jesus, the Son of? So everything could be understood for what it is and not for what it ain't. So we're going to read from 20 out of our Moorish Holy Quran. And this is coming out of chapter 2. And we're going to start at 20. Anybody want?
20.
Mm-hmm.
That naught can make them one but love. That Allah so loved the world that he has clothed his Son in flesh, that man can comprehend. 21, the only Savior of the world is love. And Jesus, Son of Mary, comes to manifest that love to man.
Beautiful. So as it is written, who clothed the Son in flesh?
Allah.
That's what we have as who is Jesus, God. Jesus is the Son of Allah, God. And the love was for us to comprehend who Allah is, was, and evermore to be. This is an overall act of demonstration of love. And so to understand, for a people to come and kill love and to hang love on a cross, Now we know that God wouldn't hang his own son on a cross. That would be the act of someone, or we would say anti-God. So we have to understand the whole make-believe that we have been filled with has not come from the truth. So you have not been able to live life to your fullest because you have been limited by make-believe. This make-believe have not only denatured your being, it has also left your heart uncircumcised. Man is what we was coming to learn when we understand what Jesus represents. There's a phrase, the Son of God. This word and phrase, Son of God, was taken out of Moorish history. And this Son of God was made Son of God for all of humanity. But Allah was left out, so you would never know the origin of where all this love comes from. Who filled Jesus with so much love? Who gave Jesus so much power? Who was so pleased with Jesus that they clothed Jesus in flesh? Who loved the world so much? And they told the world that it was God. And they left the word Allah off. So all we had was God. But this story comes from Moorish history, which predates biblical history by a landslide. So we have to understand, where did the Son of God originate from? This is where you also hear the next phrase, the Son of Man. So this is why you have a confliction in today's time in understanding who is God, what is God. Is God a man? Is God not a man? This comes from the understanding of the Son of God is the Son of Man. So as the understanding of Jesus being clothed in flesh by the one divine creator, and that who birthed Jesus was Mary. So this immaculate thing that we have been perceived to be have always came from a divine instruction from parents to children, giving their children instructions from their parents of how to live and the way to be in this vast, spacious universe. So when we come into bringing the Son of Man into perspective, so we can understand how does this connect with the Son of God. Here is a divine instruction. Number 10, verily Yahshua was a son of man. So now the Son of Man is represented as what Yahshua was. So when you see the phrase son and you see of man, in Moorish history, this was something very deep. Today, you represent it and maybe know it as May son. But it goes further in antiquity and archaic meaning of what this means, and it entitles all humanity. When we was bringing this knowledge as a language for everyone to learn, it was through storytelling. And through storytelling, all of humanity get here by way of the father, mother, and the child. So every human being comes from the Creator. So we have to understand that how does these messages come without being a part of make-believe? See, because if your book that you possess does not come from a son of man, then you don't have the right book at all. The Son of Man comes from the line of prophets. This is what we say, honor to all divine prophets, who are our brothers and sisters of Moorish descent. Now, the book that you have that references more of the Son of God, that book was not put together by no prophet. The Bible is not a book put together by no prophet. If the book did not come directly from a prophet, then it is called make-believe. So when we need to understand the Son of God, this was coming from a line of prophets. And all of the prophets we know about up to Jesus. So Jesus was fulfilling what they say the law, and that law was connected to all of the line of prophets. So this is hence why he said, I have not come to destroy, but fulfill the law of Musa. Moses is a great prophet. All descendants from Abraham are considered son of man. This is legitimately and has been recorded in history before any invasion have came to any land. So when they wipe out your history, they're trying to wipe out your memory and replace your memory with a new memory. So you have no connection with the Son of Man in connection with the Son of God, knowing that the Son of God is the Son of Man, and that the Son of Man represents a distinct wisdom that comes from divine truth, called the line of the prophets: Ezekiel, Isaiah, Jeremiah, all of the prophets to Adam, and before Adam to Abraham. So all of this comes from a ground for you to walk on. So next says, yet Jesus is not a deity. This is very crucial to understanding how the make-believe got washed into the truth. The make-believe, when it made the Son of God, it was able to make Jesus a deity through its own form by calling it now Christ. Christ is a non-Jesus word. Jesus did not use the word Christ. So whoever placed the word Christ on Jesus was placing make-believe on the truth. And from that placement, you was able to go forward and run with Jesus Christ in the name, as the name to relate to God. So we have to understand, number 12, us Christians who worship Jesus Christ as a God are in error. This is against what Jesus taught. The make-believe is the Jesus Christ. Jesus was not a Greek, if we can agree on that. So if Jesus was not a Greek, how he has a Greek word, Christ. So when we're talking about Greek and language, with Greek being a language, then Jesus is a language. And if Jesus is Hebrew, we know Hebrew and Greek is not the same. So there will be an error in the teachings fundamentally through literation. So this is called a spelling. A spelling error has caused the world to worship Jesus Christ as a God through spelling. So this is why we have to understand the true understanding of what Jesus taught from predating biblical history, but having the same narrative. So 23 and 24.
And all the people were entranced and would have worshipped Jesus as a God. But Jesus said, I am your brother man, just come to show the way to Allah. You should not worship man. Praise Allah, the Holy One.
There we have it for all believers. This is where they made up that Jesus is God. When Jesus said himself, what was read, all the people were entranced. We know that concept, and would have worshiped Jesus as a God. So now these people at that time would have worshiped him as a God. But he himself, being there at that time, told the people, do not worship me. I'm your brother man, son of man, come to show the way. Here we go. To show. So everything that we know as the principles, that was laid out through Jesus speaking was to show us what was to come, the way to Allah. So this in our Moorish culture, predating biblical history, we call this the Circle 7 Logos. That Moorish phrase predates biblical understanding. And it goes back into the ancient times, in the ancient state of mind. So Jesus was saying, he was showing you what was to come so you would know the way to his Father. And that you should not worship man, which would be himself. Me as a God, you should praise Allah, the Holy One. And now we have the way that Jesus was showing us. In our Hebrew tongue, we call the Circle 7 Logos Al-Sufyan Allah. That's our Hebrew language. In Moorish, Circle 7 Logos. So now, the reason why this is so important, 13, this is against, not for, this is against the teachings of the divine creator, Allah, God. 14, no man may be raised up as a God amongst men. And that's no man. 15, no man, even a prophet. And a prophet is a direct descendant. Not even a prophet may be considered greater or lesser. None of the prophets are better or lesser than any other man. And we should consider the prophet with the word great on it as greater or lesser than any other man and woman. (16) Thus, a true Musalim respects all religions and all wisdom, but does not respect such prophets as gods. This is critical for us to understand. This is why Jesus never said he was God. But in your culture, it's for you to understand and learn that Allah and man are one. This is in reference to flesh. Your flesh came from the Creator. And this is the oneness. The Creator created you. This is your glory. Is no other proof than the Creator created you, than you exist to say, I am. So, do we see the love that was given as the principle and law of the way? So if you was created by Allah God, then all was created by Allah God. Holy instruction. Now men and birds and beasts and creeping things are deities. We'll repeat that again. Number 9. Now means no. Men and birds. Men, women, birds, beasts, and creeping things are deities made flesh. And how dare men kill anything? We go back to the Son being hung on the cross when love was made in flesh for all to comprehend. So who didn't comprehend is the people who killed love. This is iconic for killing love, to making you hate yourself, hate creation, hate the world, hate. When Moorish means love. Well, Allah means eternal love in our Hebrew language. See, in our Hebrew culture, everything is a deity made flesh. How else did it get here? So how you get here is how they get here. They was created just like you by their creator. Now out of the Al-Sufyan. Out of the way. The way says Allah is every stone, every piece of marble, every piece of earth, as well as every living thing. Do we get it more clearer? That he who made Jesus made you. He, him, they not like Allah. Allah. They not like him. For he created all created things. Every living thing. Do we see this connection here? Someone who is anti-love came to kill love and hang it on the cross. What did our Moorish Hebrew ancestors say? Never let them steal your joy. Joy is your love. No matter what they do, don't let them steal your love. For Allah is eternal love. Allah, Allah. What is most sacred to Allah? Every living thing. The air, the breath, the space between things. The sun, the moon, the living plants, everything that's living is sacred to Allah. Allah is every stone, every piece of marble, every piece of earth, as well as every living thing. Can somebody read our holy instruction on number 37?
The thoughts of Allah change not.
Oh, let's not go no further. So no one, even a man, can change the thoughts of our divine creator who created us. No matter if they what, right? Make believe. It's inscribed in our what? DNA. DNA. And it tells us, how did we become man? By a thought. So there is a gift of coming to existence. But they wanted us to be hung on a cross. Not loving coming into existence. Saying that this place is a hell realm. How can such beauty and nature that you see in peace? The sun and the moon, they never fought each other in my whole existence and lifespan. Now, y'all might have seen it. I don't know where y'all at. But I say no. Not me. The sun and the moon ain't never fought. So it must be something going around called make-believe. No matter what we seen, y'all, no matter what we heard, y'all, the thoughts of our divine creator changes not, thou from where we came. In him shall we return. Let's see.
The manifest of life on every plane unfold into perfection of their kind. And as the thought of Allah can never die, there is no death to any being of the seven ethers, of the seven spirits, of the triune Allah.
Did we just hear about ourselves? When you come into existence, when you are birthed into existence, do you know what this means for us? Do you know what this means for us?
Beautiful.
If we come into existence, this means we can never die. We was created by the Creator. We one of the beings that was created by the Creator. Now, what we need to learn, we come from one of these seven ethers. See, this is what our culture was perfecting us, what we call graduation was becoming like Allah. You was made, what they say, in the image and the likeness. So we talking about this right here is the likeness of who you are. You can jump in a new image. You done had plenty images before you in this image. This ain't your first image. This is what you've been existing. That's what these new make-believes was telling you not. You've been existing. You keep taking new images as you progress into perfection of your kind to get back to your native plane. One of these 7 ethers, and we finna learn about them right now. I'm 38.
Beautiful. And so on earth is never planted a beast or bird or creeping thing is never man, and man is not, and cannot be a beast or bird or creeping thing.
You always been man, coming in this new image from man. See, it's nothing, you can't go back to being what you not. See, you from a certain ethos, out of these 7 ethers. And what governs these 7 ethers is the 7 spirits. That our flesh shall corrupt and decay, yet our spirits are immortal. And this is the best part that we got on the screen already too. The 7 spirits, y'all. The 7 ethers is the image. The image you take comes from the 7 ethers. This is what passes form. This is what passes away and return to its ethers. But the spirit man, from this 7 ether, lives past the 7 ethers and goes back to the spirit plane. And that same 7 ethers come from the same 7 spirits. So now, man can never be a beast, bird, or creeping thing. So man will return to being at one with Allah. This is the perfection of you. You yourself. And this is why we understand when we say the circle 7. We're talking about this deep Moorish science, which is our consciousness, which is our awareness, and why we use the perfect number 7. It's to raise you to infinite wisdom of your spirit man. So the spirits belong to the 7. And these 7 is what man is to perfect himself to get to his oneness of Allah and man are one. Allah. This is called love divine. See, and how in our culture, we don't do it through money. To become one with Allah, you don't have to do it through money. The only way you can do it is through the divine instructions. 41. The will of man. See, here we come. See, the spirit man has a will that makes possible the action of the truth. Remember, the higher self is the human spirit, clothed with soul, made in the form of Allah, and the embodiment of truth. This is called the will of man. When the will of man and the will of Allah are one, the resurrection, remember Jesus resurrecting, this was love resurrecting. Love is a fact. Love is a fact. So love is the will of man becoming one with the will of his divine creator, the created and the will of the creator. See, if we can get this understanding, this is the love divine. This is why the only Messiah, the only Savior, is what Jesus showed. Love. He didn't sacrifice nobody. He loved everybody. But somebody didn't love him. And that's why they call him a Jew today. His name was Jew. So this is why you stay away from anything that doesn't make you and the Creator one. Because that's against you. That's against you honoring your father and mother. This is the same thing when we say the father, mother, child. That's our Moorish phrase. Our Hebrew phrase is Allah, Sufi'a, Al-Sufi'anna. Father, mother, child. This is the way that we explain to our children, to our seed, their rights of use. You have the rights of use to use the gifts of your divine creator. You can be perfect as he is in heaven. Or you can be as low as he who is creating his own hell. See, the will is the, as we would say in our Hebrew tongue, al-Rakba. The light from the shining soul pushes, directs the flesh. So, spirit man only exists by the will of man. love exists only by the will of man. Love is the will of our Creator. That's why we here. To prove love exists. Someone is making us. We keep coming. New forms, new images. Maybe same name. Maybe new name. See, this is a connection we have that lives past a graveyard. We don't go to no grave. That's the first step into the spirit going back to spirit land. Spirit man inside of the flesh has to raise itself through the will. And that's love divine. Love divine is the will of man made manifest. Here it comes. 32. Faith in the way is simple, y'all. It's always been simple. It is the belief above all others that there is only one deity, and his true name is Allah, and that he created us. Are you not created? Do you not exist? We are, I am. Remember the prophet Musa got the divine instructions? I am. He created us. And that he loves us. Take this over. This is the greatest gift.
Beautiful.
Mm-hmm. Look what love do for us. Love. Remember now, Allah is eternal love. Love gives men and women the ability to think. So let's put it in opposite terms now. Someone could not understand, or they did not have the ability to not kill love. To think about not killing love. One say they wash their hands clean.
Hey, I ain't gonna have nothing to do with it.
The other one say not release Barabbas.
Yeah, but kill him.
But kill love. Let the criminal go. He was known, they say, he was known as a criminal on the land, creating trouble. And they say kill love instead. And later on that night, love died, and the criminal walked away free. And to this day, the criminal is walking away free, and love is dying.
When you say that, all I could think about the way that things going on over here in the USA. That they putting criminals that know been guilty of crimes committed and making president of the United States, and then he turns around and shows so much hatred to the melanated people and try to take everything that they have achieved and accomplished back. And this is what's going on today in this society over here in USA. They'd rather have a crook than have a righteous man in charge. Trying to get it.
This how easy when it was said that if your eye becomes single, your whole body should be full of love. That light that was mentioned there would be love. The greatest light is Allah. Allah is eternal love, wisdom, and gentleness. Someone not showing gentleness, as the same people that we call Jews today, is showing you
That's right.
in plain sight
That's right.
through your own feeling.
Mm.
And if you deny this God-given right to use your own judgment, feeling for yourself, to protect and respect yourself first. Why? Now you see, Allah and man are one. Every living thing is Allah. There's no death to any being. Not the ant. That's why they keep coming. You're not going to stop anything Allah created. You didn't create it. This is why we have to understand. The flesh didn't create it. Every being exists because Allah loves life. And anything that Allah loves comes to life. Including you. See, so we're supposed to turn the L upside down. And it's a 7. Because it's the highest plane of love called the spiritual plane. Where love is a will. This is why you hear whatever pleases Allah. We're talking about satisfaction. We're talking about love guaranteed. People can't love today because they don't know who self is. They lost in the two selves. See, if we knew the flesh was created by the Creator, there's no separation. This is the gift of calling that was called by our Moorish ancestry, speaking Hebrew language, the one. The great one, the divine one. This has always been love for us. Remember, they asked Jesus, they said, hey, we noticed you haven't ate. We come to give you food. He said, I'm eating food that you know not of. I'm eating meat that you know not of. Or she's saying, hey, you have no well to put the water in. How are you going to give me water to drink? the waters I give you, you will need no more. Would need no more. It's the love that is being described there. This is the principle of love that many men and women have not mastered. We're supposed to be love masters. That's what truth lovers or love and truth is for. You can love when you know you don't die. You can love when you know you live on. You can love when you know you greater than the flesh. You can love when you know who your creator is. See, the love is at the flick of a wheel. Love is at the flick of a wheel. Let's see how powerful love is. Look how powerful love is. Allah is love. Don't forget that. When you see Allah, you seeing love. It's telling you how love is, how to love. Allah or love, eternal love, is volition. Volition means will. Al-Raqabah. That's how we say it in our Hebrew language. So all of our Moorish prophets were Hebrew masters. Some people call it ancient Egyptian. See, this love was the main thing that raised us up. Love is the thing that we need to understand, and we're going to read something. Love is what brings thought and idea. You know, before you walking around, the thought ain't there. And then something in between moments is there. That's called the love of Allah. Manifesting right there for you, and no praises. See, this is what make-believe has done for us. Our love will create our paradise. My human flesh was changed to higher form by love divine. I can manifest in flesh or in the higher planes of life at will. This is what Allah is. Eternal love. Love divine. Look what love divine can do to your flesh. Change it to a higher form. I know I was interested in it when I read. That hit my heart. You can change your flesh. You know you can build up muscles. But you saying you can change your flesh to a higher octave. And it's called love divine. Let's see the love exists. See, the teachings that we were supposed to get from the people who was telling us Jesus taught this was that we were supposed to teach what Jesus taught, what I can do, all men can do. We're talking about love here. Go teach the gospel of omnipotence. This is what people were supposed to be taught in churches. If churches was of honor to the Moorish history. You supposed to be told every day of your life how omnipotent you are. And you supposed to be attending meetings that's giving you the instructions of this omnipotence. You are a walking deity made by the deity. The deity is in the flesh. Is what makes the human flesh turn into love divine. Is why it's referred to as the higher self. Because most people don't know this love. They in the love that falls. They falling in love. They're not raising their thoughts to infinite love, divine. The higher self is Allah in man. Can we tap in? Can we tap in? And remember, Jesus was tempted by the devil. So if Jesus was tempted in his life, and we know the understanding of born through purity, that he will be tested later in his life by the devil. So we don't think that love would be tested. Your love, as you grow, as they call him, the tempter. The time. The tempter stands for the person in that moment in time bringing you an influence. The tempter. He wanted proof of his messiahship. He said, if you be the son of Allah, command these stones to turn to bread. And Jesus said, who is it that demands a test? ? It is no sign that one is a son of Allah because he does a miracle. The devil can do mighty things. Look at the computer. Look at the technology. Did not the Gentile magicians, these the Jews, do great things before the Pharaoh? Remember, magic, make-believe. He said, my words and deeds in all the walks of life shall be the proof of my messiahship. This is what proves our love. Every day we got to speak. Every day we got to act. What duties are you tending to that proves when we say messiahship that you are elevating to love divine, the perfected form of self? The spirit man. The final stage of oneness, of you reaching oneness from the flesh to your father. And remember, in earlier texts, Jesus was made higher than the angels. We're talking about love here. The only savior is love. We're talking principle. Love, truth, peace, purity, and justice. There were stories about David. And we come to find out the David of the light is purity. You're not going to get no greater love than purity. This is why the son of Mary was born through purity. Virgin birth, they call it.
Yeah.
Virgin means pure, untainted, not mixed. Pure expression of love manifested. And we know eternal thought is one, but in essence is two: intelligence and love, intelligence and force. And when these two come together, they birth the child, they breathe the child called love. See, this is how divine our DNA is. The D is for the divine. The N is for nature. The A is for Allah. Our DNA is from the divine creator. It's his nature. It's not. I know it's not mine. It's his. And as you come to the flesh or come to life, you come with inheritance. Would he leave you without nothing and take care of the birds? How much greater are you? The Creator loves you, created you. And we rather turn to money. The Creator say, you ask me in my name and I will give, I will do. This is why you are given the divine name in return, back out of your second Exodus. If you love your divine creator as I love my divine creator, then you will speak, you will get, you receive from your creator. If my creator don't give, I don't have. If the animal can search for food, man should be able to search for himself. Because within that flesh is an essence that'll feed the entire universe, that have birthed the entire universe. It's as quiet as night, but it's not silent like day. This is why it was called the night of power, when people receive the great teachings. For a light to come, love got to exist. For the sun to show light, love has to exist. Night has to exist. Now, this is what he told him right after he started understanding that this was just his two selves. For 40 days did Jesus wrestle with his. This is called the conquering of self. For 40 days. he wrestled, you gonna have to wrestle. We call this the Al-Jihad, the great struggle, the battle within. Can love win? Or will the holiness of love sometimes be defeated by its lower self? Why you love Jesus is because he wasn't defeated by his lower self. He was an overcomer, which made him the representation of a conqueror, which the principle of love explained. That's a quality of awareness. He wrestled, he struggled with his inner battle called his carnal desires, the cardinal self. This is the ignorance built up for make-believe. So if he had to go through it, you better know you will. His higher self prevailed. His love prevailed. He then was hungry, but his friend had found him and they ministered to him. Then Jesus left the wilderness, and in the consciousness, that's the key here, in the consciousness of the Holy Breath. This is where it becomes unseen. Now it's within man. This is something he achieved by wrestling with this cardinal self, that he had one self. And this one self prevailed over the two selves. Anybody ever tried to jump you or rush you or ambush you? See, that's two selves. See, but the one self prevailed. All praises Al-Hamd. The one self prevailed. And this is a lesson for us. Not that love dies on the cross. That's make-believe. That's a dream of the dreamer. Remember, they call it American dream, y'all. Long as you asleep, they get the dream on your soil, on your land, and play as you as the Americans, living out the American dream, being God on the land. They ruling your land, being God on your land. This is their dream, which is your reality. You don't live dreams. This is your reality. You were created by the Creator. That ain't a dream. Anyone who does this was not. They don't have it in them. We will be in paradise. This is what's called As-Salam. We are all supposed to be in As-Salam. That's the greeting of Americans. We don't know that because we don't know our ancestors who was on the land before 1492. As-Salam was all up and down the Mississippi River, all across the Alabama forest, all across the Georgia plains. So we was breathing in nothing but holiness from each other, from our Creator, from the universe of the Creator. As we say, the Lord of the universe. Our Creator, which is love, is the Lord of the universe. Love is the creator of existence. Love is the master of our day of judgment. We didn't know love was giving us all these abilities. This This is what the Son of Man came to tell you, that you the Son of God, that every living thing is. And today, as they say, you can be proud. Be proud of your Creator. Yep, I feel it. We're coming to a close, so we better be understanding what we have after the recording is turned off. Do you go back asleep? Do you go back to living in his American dream? When he's the God, where he's the ruler of your land, where he rules you and your children and your flesh and your land, tell you when and where and why? Or has love came and saved all his people? The way is the way to save yourself. I can't save you. You can't save me. You can save yourself. I can save myself. Don't try to fix me. I will fix me. You fix yourself. This is what I did. I fixed myself, and I found that the whole universe, that this is what everyone needs to do. You don't need to worry about him or they. You need to worry about fixing yourself and doing what it takes to fix yourself. There's no more time to look at others. When you look at others, you look at self. Self is the only cause down here of why you have separated your own self from love. Make believe is make believe. It can never become real. So we have to understand that there's an ability, all able to do anything for you, and it lives within self. And in As-Salam, 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 you go to the Al-Fatiha. And whatever you pray for what you pray for. And in the name of the Al-Sufyan. This is your formula for your new paradise. You are the Americans on the land, from people of ancient people, that hopefully some of this message got through to your mind and went to your heart. Because this is how you save yourself. So we finna close. If there isn't any questions. Yeah, no questions. All right, so we're gonna close out. All right, yep, we're gonna close out in the name of our divine creator. Allah al Sufyan al Wadu.